Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. The holiday celebration continues with something that's more wholesome than Hellraiser. A Golden Age Wonder Woman comic. The last time we had a Golden Age holiday with superheroes was Superman's Christmas Adventure, where two Scrooges took it upon themselves to declare war on the holiday with their flying submarine and various attempts at ruining Christmas, like kidnapping the reindeer or trying to murder Lois Lane. Because let's face it, their names were Grouch and Meanie. At that point, you're just kind of all in with the evil. They were foiled only by them overhearing that Santa still was going to give them presents regardless of their attempted murder, which, I don't know, maybe Santa's losing his judgment in his old age. While today's outing is shorter than Superman's Christmas Adventure at 13 pages, it's a Golden Age superhero comic, so chances are good it'll be just as insane. So let's dig into Sensation Comics number 14, The Story of Fir Balsam, and see what a Wonder Woman Christmas Adventure looks like.
Welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where Yuletide candles burn. Linkara's gonna give you all a present you've not earned. Mensch, you're not the brightest. Frank Miller, you're off the nice list. If you're a comic writer who misuses a license, your gift will be returned. Digging through the shelves for the kind of comic books that would turn Santa's elves into common crooks. He reads them and he weeps while down the chimney creeps. Pajamas with a Marvel trade to watch him when he sleeps. Linkara, he built a snowman, now it has a hole. Linkara, 8 maids, a milking and a young blood troll. Linkara, only one Dickens homage away from going chestnuts. Linkara, this Christmas comic sucks.
Reading from a trade, so no looking at the cover. And this is the same trade I talked about a while ago that has the Superman Christmas Adventure and the Teen Titans Swingin' Christmas Carol, but I can't find any changed coloring for this one. We open with Wonder Woman riding around a snowy mountain on skis while carrying 2 kids. She's not rescuing them or anything. On Themyscira, children are used as ski poles. Our narrator speaks up. The tree. Yes, I know I'm only a fir tree, and you're going to ask what I have to do with Wonder Woman. All I'll say is that our relationship is pure and beautiful, and you won't stop us from marrying! Well, fir trees often wind up as Christmas trees, and that's what happened to me. As you can see, I'm a pretty crappy Christmas tree. I'm mostly just trunk, I could only fit into very large rooms, and the height of my branches means you need a ladder in order to actually hang any decorations on. But not before I had the most fantastic adventure of my life. When I met Wonder Woman. I was originally cut down to serve as firewood for her. The purpose of my existence is to be in pain for the enjoyment of others. Beautiful as Aphrodite, wise as Athena, strong as Hercules, and swift as Mercury, Wonder Woman came from the secret Isle of Paradise, where women reign supreme to bring joy, justice, peace, and happiness to the war-torn world of men. And as I'm sure you've noticed by this point, that usually involves punching a lot of people. A panel in the corner expands on things. My real name is Abis Balsamia, but my friends call me Fir Balsam. It's basically the equivalent of calling someone human person. My friends are kinda weird. I grew on top of a lonely mountain all alone. Trees love to murmur and whisper together. Trees are really big into gossip, which leads to a lot of heartbreak down the road. But I had no companions until I met Wonder Woman, who understands tree language. Tree language, it would turn out, is just Esperanto. On that mountain, Steve Trevor and Diana Prince are scouting the area near a village on the Canadian border.
Canada calls to ask, what are you guys doing up there?
The village has been housing German POWs, but they've been escaping recently, heading across the mountain to a railroad in the next town over. However, Diana thinks there might also be a secret Nazi base somewhere on the mountain itself. Wow, the prequel to Dead Snow is already better than the movie itself. Apparently, Fir Balsam is telling Diana this, much to its own shock that she seems to be able to understand her. However, Steve doesn't buy it. Probably doesn't help that she's saying that while literally hugging a tree. While Steve goes off to investigate the village, Diana is sent to go check out the next town. I thought Diana was a dull-looking girl, but she changed her clothes and suddenly I realized she was beautiful! Along with being gossipy, trees are incredibly shallow. Trees are also apparently the source of any movie where a quote-unquote plain girl gets a makeover and is suddenly considered hot. Anyway, to add to the creep factor, the tree's branches reach for her. See Miss Fir Balsam stretching her arms toward me. I believe she likes me better as Wonder Woman. So trees could move on their own this whole time? They were just waiting for someone to wear less clothes near them? Also, I know, superhero and all probably doesn't feel a thing, but Diana, are you really sure you want to be running around the snowy mountainside in just the Wonder Woman costume? In any case, while getting ready to hide her civilian clothes in a hidden spot under the tree, she finds a piece of paper already there written in some kind of code. She quickly deciphers its meaning, meet at cave K3, and heads off to try to find said cave. Take good care of Diana Prince's costume, my pretty Balsam. She'll be dreadfully upset if she has no clothes to go home in. And when Diana gets upset, that's when the axe comes out. Get it? While Diana goes out to investigate, a snowstorm soon hits that part of the mountain, bringing with it 2 children lost in the blizzard. Oh, don't mind them. Martians kidnapped them and now they're looking for Santa's workshop. A robot will be along in a minute to pick them up. I trembled with fear for the little girl. The little boy, on the other hand, can freeze in hell as far as I'm concerned. What's really going on is that the little girl is freezing so badly that she doesn't even feel the cold anymore, just fatigue. The two huddled at the foot of Fir Balsam, the older brother trying to keep her warm. Since Diana had ended up leaving her clothes in its branches instead, the tree drops them down for them to try to keep them warm. There were matches in the coat pocket. Teddy, good Cub Scout that he was, soon had a fire going. Unfortunately, I was the thing that was on fire. The children discuss what's brought them out into the cold, and we get a flashback. Last Christmas, the two had been decorating their tree with their mom when a guy who they had hired named Carl Natz started hitting on her. Ach, mein beautiful Fraulein! Wait a second. German, in an area where German POWs have been escaping, and his name is Carl Natz? Holy crap, it's a Soviet! The woman rebuffed his advances when her husband got home and, naturally pissed at what's happening, socks the guy across the face. Unfortunately, all the credit we give him for punching a Nazi is immediately discarded because he thinks his wife was being unfaithful. Pack your duds, you Jezebel! I'll drive you over the mountain to your mother's in Mill Junction, and I never want to see you hiding her hair of you again! Man, who knew there were hillbillies settled on the Canadian border? Oh, but it wasn't enough for this jackass to send his wife away without hearing her out. The dude breaks their Christmas tree. Why? Never again in this house will I have anything to remind me of your mother. If anybody asks, you two never had a mother. I just spontaneously reproduced like a cell dividing. A year passed and they begged their father to see their mother on Christmas, but he refused, even threatening him with a stick. The two decided to go off on their own to see their mother, even getting Christmas presents for her. Here's my Christmas present for Mom. I hemmed this handkerchief all myself. Huh, it's all right for a girl, but look at this diamond ring. It cost 10 cents. I've been saving since summer. The guy said it was so cheap because they were conflict diamonds, but I don't understand. I didn't get into a fight to get them. Back in the present, the two huddle together for warmth. Mom won't get her presents because we lost our way. And Dad'll beat us. You know, it's sounding more and more like she's better off without the violent, judgmental, abusive douchebag. However, the children are met by 2 men. 2 men in German aviators' uniforms were approaching. Ah yes, those German aviator uniforms. And their babushkas. They ask the kids who they are, but then search the base of the tree for the code they had left there. Failing to find it, they assume the kids took it. We must have food. I take the little girl down to her home and borrow some supplies. You hide mit der boy and we meet again at der tree. Dude, Inspector Kemp from Young Frankenstein is telling you to dial it back with the German. The Nazi took the girl back home where her father was waiting. He took them both prisoner and got the food, having the girl carry it in a picnic basket. At the edge of a cliff, the girl complains that she can't carry it anymore, and the Nazi has a solution. Push them off the cliff to their deaths. Well, get it over with, rat. A year ago I would have fought you, but now I don't care. If I can't have my wife, screw my kids' lives. However, Wonder Woman soon comes racing to the rescue. He turns to shoot at her, but the bullets just bounce off her bracelets. Ha ha! Try shooting your lunch. Ha ha ha! What? The Nazi quickly realizes he can't take her out, so instead he shoves his hostages off the cliff to distract her. Fortunately, she manages to rescue the two. Nearby, the children's mother and Carl Natz were also climbing up the mountain. Natz admits to the woman that he actually dragged her out here to take her away from her own life. She's pissed since apparently he had lied to her about their reason for going out, and he ties up her hands. When Nazi agents have a cave to hide prisoners who escape, it will hide you also. Wait, are they implying that Carl Natz is a Nazi? I could have sworn he was a member of the Viet Cong. Once Wonder Woman puts the father and daughter back on land, the father notices the two together and once again assumes the worst. Jeb Carter went berserk with rage. They've got their arms around each other! 'Tis more than human flesh can bear! I'll kill them both! Wendy, throw him over the cliff again! She lassos him, but it's because there's actually a ravine between them and didn't want him going over the edge. However, she does swing him around a bit to get him to calm down and has him land on the other side. Wendy travels across the ravine by climbing over the lasso tied between two trees, the girl hanging onto her by the neck. The girl asks how she'll get her lasso back when it's tied to a tree stump. If it won't slip off, I'll have to pull the stump out. When Wonder Woman desecrated the corpse of one of my fellow trees, I knew she had to die. Natz apparently met up with the Nazi holding the little boy hostage off-panel, and they are proceeding to their secret cave. Wonder Woman, Jeb, and the daughter made their way back to Fir Balsam, probably on a rescue mission, but of course missed them. As such, Wendy has a plan. She leaves the message intended for the Nazis in the hole under the tree, expecting them to return. Then has Jeb tie her to the tree to make it look like she's helpless. The Nazis will think I was captured by one of their gang and left here for them to dispose of. I hope they will take me to their cave. And hey, even if this doesn't work, I'll still get to kick some Nazi ass, so win-win. She also sends Jeb to find Steve Trevor, Etta Candy, and her holiday college girls. So basically, Etta Candy had this club of women in college who helped Wonder Woman out on adventures. Fine, kind of weird, but hey, Golden Age and all that. I'm more confused why apparently they've been drafted to aid in America's anti-Nazi efforts by actively sending them out on missions to deal with escaped POWs. Don't get me wrong, that's friggin' awesome, just confused why they wouldn't send, like, more actual military personnel. Anywho, the plan works. A Nazi comes along and takes her away. You may call me Wonder Woman, Fritzy. Where are you taking me? And he uses her for a desk. There is where I am taking you. Their message says we go to K3 on their Gestapo map. That's just dandy, Fritz, but don't poke me with that pencil. Otherwise, well, wanna see a magic trick? He leads her back to the cave and parades her around in front of the other Nazis. They mock her, but she thinks that she can't break their faces right now out of fear for what they may do to the hostages. She hopes they'll put her in with them so she can make sure they're safe before handing over some Nazi scalps to Aldo Rain. Before that, though, Carl Natz comes running in, having spotted Steve Trevor and the holiday college girls on the approach. The two natural enemies of the Nazis, the U.S. Army and college-educated women. They stick Wonder Woman against the door where they're keeping the others prisoner, chaining her hands to some bars so that she'll act as a natural barrier against said prisoners trying to escape. The Nazis go out to deal with Steve and the girls, putting a rock in front of the cave entrance to seal it off. 3 days later, Wonder Woman emerged from the cave to bring peace and happiness to all humanity! Actually, that makes way too much sense. The prisoners start banging on the door. Ouch! Stop spanking me! I'll be good! Merry Christmas, everybody! Wendy breaks free of the bars and tells them to stand clear of the door. Oh yeah! The wife and son are indeed in the cell, with said wife chained to a wall. Wonder Woman asks her to stay in the chains for a second. It may help win your husband back. I'll stay chained forever for that! Ha 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 ha! No! Wendy and the kid get together to push the boulder out of the way, with Diana even telling the kid he did most of the pushing. The kid doesn't buy it, but it's a sweet gesture anyway. Meanwhile, from my perch on the mountaintop, I watched. I saw Steve Trevor and the girls climbing up, and then suddenly the earth exploded beneath me! And this is why you don't use nitroglycerin for fertilizer, kids. The Nazis had set off some explosives, not just sending Fir Balsam away, but also causing an avalanche on Steve Trevor and company. Like a flash of light, a beautiful figure leapt into the path of the avalanche. And as she was buried in the snow, that figure soon realized that avalanches don't really care if you're beautiful or not. So Wendy picks up Fir Balsam and somehow uses the tree to stop the avalanche! I mean, yeah, groupings of trees can be used to break up the flow of snow and everything, but I don't think a single one is really enough to do the job! My poor, beautiful Balsam. You are battered, but together we have saved some precious lives. Well, time to cut down your fellow trees for grazing land. With the avalanche stopped, Etta Candy and her brigade quickly apprehend the Nazis. America expects every girl to do her duty. Get your man! Man, now I wish America did have a ski brigade made up of college girls whose only job was to rope up Nazis. Wonder Woman brought Jeb to his wife to show him that she had not been a willing participant to Carl's advances. I've been a fool! Nan, can you ever forgive me? Yes, Jeb, of course.
It was a simpler, stupider time.
Yeah.
Wendy then took Fir Balsam and replanted it in the family's yard. I gave my top to Babs and Teddy for a Christmas tree, and even Jeb helped trim me. I'm a headless abomination. Look, Dad, put the angel on the top branch. We'll make believe she's Wonder Woman. Turns out this whole story was just an advertisement for Wonder Woman tree toppers. And so our story ends with Wonder Woman carrying a sack of toys into their home. Also, the moon looks like a 7 on the hospital pain scale. I hope I remembered everything the children want. Playing Miss Santa Claus is the most fun of all. Mostly, I spend all my time just being supportive or nagging Santa. But screw it, I'm just gonna deliver the presents myself so it gets done right. And so, a Merry Christmas was had by all. Except for the Nazis. But who gives a crap? They're Nazis. This comic is okay for the most part, but it is still kind of weird. I enjoy the fact that it's a very non-traditional Christmas story. Christmas is definitely a part of it, but it's not the end-all, be-all. It's not like they won over Jackass Father with the spirit of the season or whatever. It's a story about reuniting a family while stopping evildoers. That being said, Jackass Father is my main complaint. Being verbally, emotionally, and physically abusive should not be shrugged off with a, "Oh, it was a big misunderstanding, please forgive me." Even for the time period, remember that Superman's first story had him taking out an abusive husband. It's not like that couldn't be acknowledged. Also, for something called The Story of Fir Balsam is really kind of a minor player in this drama. Sure, she's a narrator, but it's still a tree, and its main contributions are pointing something out to Wonder Woman, then being used as a tool of Wonder Woman. Despite apparently being able to move its branches on its own, it takes no action in stopping the Nazis when they come to kidnap the kids. Worst ent ever. That being said, the absurd Golden Age elements of it are fun, and of course you can never go wrong with beating up Nazis. By the time the next episode hits, The Last Jedi will be out in theaters. As such, let's do something Star Wars related. But with a twist. With the Steam Wars Holiday Special. I know Wonder Woman's bonds were tight, for I, too, could feel them. And I've gotta say, wasn't an unpleasant experience either.